This is the Nightshade, an everyday carry knife from Vosteed. Now, I first reviewed this edition of the Nightshade last year. Since that time, Vosteed has come out with 3 new versions of the Nightshade. And so I want to talk about these new versions, what has not changed and what has changed. So first, what has not changed? The overall shape and design of the knife. The handle has the same shape to it, this curve. The knife has this same distinct leaf shape to it with the fat belly, with the sharp tip. The knives are still designed to be a slicing, cutting kind of knife. That's their real strong suit. The cutaway for closing the blade, hole for the lanyard, the clip that's high on the top. All of these kinds of things have not changed. So what has changed on these new versions? Well, one, there's various materials now for the handle, not just one material anymore, there's multiple ones. The steel that they use, there's multiple different kinds of steels, variations of stainless steel that they use in the blade. Colors of the handles, there's multiple colors now. Colors on the blade, finishes on the blade, multiple of those. For example, in this version here, you can see this is a dark green handle. And check out this really sick, this stone-washed black blade, just super cool. So that's what's changed and what has not changed. But the biggest change in these new versions of the Nightshade is how you open the knife. In this original version, the one that I reviewed, it's got a flipper. So you just flip here and the knife opens. This is still my favorite, but other choices now. This version, as you can see, has got a hole cut out, and so this one is a thumb hole. So you put your finger in there, you just pop it open like that, or you can do that with your thumb on this side like that, either way. So that's one version of the knife. It has the thumb hole here. Another version has what is perhaps a more common way of opening a knife, and it's got the thumb stud. So you simply put your thumb here, pop that one open, and that's how you open the knife. All 3 of these knives have the same liner lock here, so you're just going to close it this way. So I think the great thing about these is whatever way you prefer opening. Do you like the flipper like I do because it's really fast, or do you prefer to choke up on it a little more, get the thumb stud? Either way, whatever you're looking for, Vosteed has a version for you. Now, if you happen to be thinking that the Nightshade is just a bit too big, Vosteed now has the Nightshade Mini. Again, much the same knife, except that it's, I don't know, maybe a ½ inch or so from front to back shorter. This particular version of the Nightshade has a thumb stud, but as an opening, but it doesn't have the liner lock. It's got a cross lock instead. So you just simply press, pull back on these 2 guys to close it. One of the things that I think is very cool about the Mini is this version at least has some coloration. So the thumb stud is this bright red, some jimping down here on the bottom, bright red. So it just adds some extra color to the knife, which I think is very cool. One change that I'm not a fan of is on the original Nightshades, there's jimping here on the blade. That's really fabulous because as you're cutting, as you're slicing, it really helps you to get a good grip on it. This one doesn't have any jimping up on the blade. Now there is some jimping down here in the liner, but it's set a little further back, and honestly you just don't get the same grip. There's also some jimping back here. I suspect it's more stylistic than actually helping things. So that's a minor change I don't like. But if you're a fan of the Vosteed Nightshade, but you're thinking that's just too big of a knife and you wish you had something smaller, maybe you're going someplace and a bigger knife isn't just appropriate, but a smaller one is okay, well, great. The Nightshade Mini might just be the knife for you. So, whatever kind of everyday carry knife you're looking for, Vosteed's got something just for you.